Hey, my name's Kat, and I'm behind the wheel of my 1982 TE72 Toyota Corolla. Let's go for a drive. Does nothing.
I really like a boxy car with like round headlights. So like I guess that aesthetic, and I kind of like that old like beat up like kind of look to it. So like rust spots here and there are really cool to me. Things like that just gives it like a little bit of like edge. When it comes to like newer cars, like things like R32 Skylines, I like them to be like super clean and like really low with like the body kits and stuff like that. I really enjoy that kind of stuff. But as far as a daily driver, I like just like a lowered, boxy, old 80s JDM car with just kind of like some homages to like that, you know, like OG JDM aesthetic with like the purple emergency lights or like JDM wheels and like things like that. So that's kind of what I like to do. My friend Austin of Scared to Podcast actually posted this one up on Instagram, and I was at work at the time, so DJ found it and he was like, "Kat, you have to buy this, like look at this," and he sent me the post and I was like, yes, please. When I got the Corolla, it was insanely low. The oil pan was maybe an inch off the ground, and within like the first month of having it, I busted the oil pan. I did cry. So we raised it up just a tiny bit, put in some new lowering blocks, replaced the suspension up front. Now that we've got it to where it's like a little bit more comfortable to ride in, to drive, like I feel so good about it, and I know that from here on out I'll be able to do it. But it was like those things that I wouldn't be able to find the parts for these old cars and like stuff like that is what made me a little bit scared. Where I grew up, there were just, it was small town, country, like back roady Kansas, like just, there were trucks. That's what it was. There were trucks everywhere. It was just like a bunch of like good old boys kind of people, like old folks, like everyone drove like a simple sedan, a van, or like a truck. Like that was just the norm. And so when it came down to like lowered cars, there were so many stereotypes that were put into your head, you know, like it was all douchey, it was pointless, it doesn't work, you're stupid, you can't go over speed bumps, which, yeah, I'll give him that one. But like everything there was about functionality, because you woke up, you went to work, you went to bed. Like that was kind of all you did. So to have the time to work on a car that was stupid and low and didn't function properly and couldn't go over speed bumps was a waste of time kind of thing. And it was just kind of like a douchebag move because you had to maneuver yourself in awkward ways on the road. A couple years ago, I was able to move back to Washington State, which is really lucky. I ended up meeting the more Skids boys, Quentin, you know. And when I met DJ, he pulled up to my house for our first date. He was gonna pick me up, and I immediately was like, oh my God, like, what a douchebag. Because he had his lowered IS 300 with these big wheels on it, and I was like, I should have swiped left. Like, I don't know. But it ended up being amazing, and he had beautiful floor mats, which was the first thing I complimented. Through him, I got to kind of like find this space in the car scene for myself, which was really exciting. And even to this day, I'm like, I never would have seen myself doing this. This is makeup for boys. Like he showed me Bozozoku cars and I was like, these are pink and these are absolute, you know, these are ridiculous. Like their tailpipes look like my eyeliner going off my head. Like this is ridiculous. Like, and I loved it. Like I loved how just kind of outrageous these car things could get. And I loved like that cars just were like this huge like physical form of like self-expression. Like when someone doesn't know you but you're driving down the street in this car, or you're wearing this makeup walking down the street, whatever, like that person looked at them and either they thought, oh my God, this is horrifying, or they're like, this is sick. And either one of those reactions, you know you did a good job. And it's a skill. That's what people don't see, is that like when they see this lowered car, they're like, oh, like that's so dumb. But it's like, the person who did that can't be dumb, because they had to work so hard and persevere through a mess and like day-to-day problems or whatever, and the amount of money and like passion that and skill that you have to be in the car scene and just do all these like dumb things is amazing. My mom was a car girl when she was in high school, and she hung out with all the gross boys. Like, she kind of got in on some like gross work, some dirty work, things like that. Kind of gave me that, like, I want to say light at the tunnel kind of like view. Like, my mom did this at least once before. And she's told me about some like horrible cars that she's had that she loved, and like it was gonna be fine, and like she did it and she loved them. There's like a hole in the floor, whatever. And it was just like, I think that in the back of my mind did give me that confidence that like my mom did it, like I'll do it. And then I also had the support from like the more Skids boys and like DJ, most specifically, just being there for me, like it's gonna be good, like it'll all work out in the end, whether it's the oil pan or this or that or the other thing. So I think just having that support from other people is what gave me that confidence in being able to like know that it would be fine to like drive this 35-year-old car every single day. It's made it really enjoyable to like be able to find that confidence because of the other people that I've had in my life. With older wagons, it's just kind of funny because you don't see them very often anymore. These were literally, at once upon a time, mom cars. The whole family hopped up in these cars, went to the grocery store, kids were dropped off in, to school in them, stuff like that. And now they're just like these disgusting slide around machines. Some mom was tootling around at 25 miles an hour, and that is it once upon a time in this car. Like, it's just really funny. Like, people swap out motors and like drivetrains and like all this stuff so that way they can just beat the shit out of them. And it's so funny. Like, they have this history of being just these simple little family cars, and now they're coveted by these like macho men, if that makes it, like car boys. So it's like just kind of funny, and that's what I really love about them. And just kind of their whole vibe has this like familyness to it, but the most badass family you ever could have had. So I kind of make this joke all the time that like I love garbage. Like things that most people would toss out, I'm like, I'm gonna hoard this until it's useful to me because I love it. So we can put the Corolla in that category, I suppose. So most people would trash it, but I really, really adore it.
Thank you. Okay.